A very good evening and a warm welcome to the Business Roundup on another weekend. We are Television bring you as usual another collection of latest happenings and developments in the business arena, easing your decision-making moments. Now let's have a look at the headlines for today. Amendment to vote on account withdrawn amidst protest after position. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa inaugurated the national program to develop 100,000 kilometers of roads. Branding the local tourism should be done by the government, says known hotelier. News in detail. The proposed amendment of the Vote on Account 2020 was not presented in the Parliament last Thursday as expressed by the government due to the objection of the opposition.
Foreign Minister Dinesh Gunawardena, addressing the Parliament on behalf of Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, last Thursday informed that proposed amendment to the vote on account will not be presented. He also said that the government came to the decision after the party leaders' meeting which took place at the Parliament complex last Thursday morning. The government earlier announced that they will seek the parliamentary approval to increase the debt ceiling from 721 billion rupees to 1078 billion rupees and make additional budgetary provisions of 367 billion rupees which are required to settle bills of completed projects implemented by various ministries under the previous government. They also expressed that the most of those which will go as settlements are so far unsettled. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers also approved the proposal by Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in its capacity as the Minister of Finance, Economy and Policy Development to present the amended vote on account prepared by the legal draftsman for parliamentary approval. However, leader of the opposition Sajith Premadasa told in Parliament that they had no any issue over seeking funds for necessary development works, but increase in debt limit cannot be agreed. MP Mangala Samaraveera, addressing the House, said that he had never witnessed making amendments to the vote and accounts. He, suggesting the government to go for a new budget, said that they objected only for the government's effort of seeking additional funds more than the government needs.
The national program to develop 100,000 kilometers of roads was kicked off last Wednesday under the patronage of the President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa in Delta in Kandy.
The intention of this project, which is led by the Roads and Highways Ministry, provincial councils and local government institutions and other institutions related to road development, is to develop 100,000 kilometers of roads which will directly contribute to the economy of the country. Hence, the existing road network will be developed by carpeting the road network, identifying the developing alternative roads and developing rural roads. By this program, 12,380 kilometers of roads directly under the Road Development Authority of the Ministry of Roads and Highways will be carpeted on priority basis. Moreover, it has been planned to develop 16,000 kilometers of roads which are part of the provincial road network, and under this program, identified alternative roads will be widened to reduce the high traffic congestion in cities such as Colombo, Kandy, Kurunegala, Ratnapura, Galle and Mathura.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa directs all provincial councils and local authorities to suspend the imposition of any extra levy or raising any existing rates or taxes. These bodies are also requested to review the entire local authority rate and fee structure to simplify it within 30 days, starting from last Wednesday.
The presidential directive has been conveyed to all governors and chief secretaries by Secretary to the President, Dr. P.B. Jayasundara. This effort has several aims such as making public life easy, making cost of transaction less, minimize corruption and irregularities, and create an environment friendly to businesses ranging from micro enterprises to large corporate activities. President Secretary further informs the governors that multiple rates, taxes and fees imposed by local authorities and provincial councils should be replaced by a simple, transparent and affordable levy structure to make community life easy. The government appreciates the revenue concerns of devolved administration but highlights the need to be logical in fiscal devolution and revenue sharing arrangements in a coherent national policy framework, Secretary to the President Dr. P.B. Jayasundara says.
The central bank report shows that the trade deficit has widened in last December to $784 million from $701 million in December 2018, led by a decline in exports and a growth in imports. Meanwhile, the report further highlights that the trade deficit contracted by $2,346 million in 2019, closing the year at $7.9 million.
Accordingly, in terms of the trade, the ratio of the price of exports to the price of imports deteriorated by 2.9% year-on-year basis in December 2019, as export prices declined at a faster pace than the decline in import prices. Cumulatively, the terms of trade deteriorated by 1.5% during 2019 in comparison to 2018. Pertaining to the tourism in the country, monthly tourist arrivals after the Easter Sunday attacks recovered notably and recorded only a modest decline on a year-on-year basis in last December. During the month of December, 241,663 tourists arrived in the country, recording a year-on-year decline of 4.5% compared to the drop of 9.5% in November and 22.5% in October 2019. Tourist arrivals from Russia, Canada and the United States improved in December 2019, while arrivals from key destinations such as France, Germany, Maldives and the United Kingdom declined. Tourist arrivals were recorded at 1.9 million in 2019, a decline of 18% compared to 2.3 million arrivals in 2018. The report also suggests that the tourism sector could suffer a further setback in the period ahead following the outbreak of the new coronavirus that originated in China and spread to several other countries. Meanwhile, workers' remittances recorded a growth of 13.8% in December 2019 year-on-year, amounting to $665 million. But on a cumulative basis, workers' remittances recorded a decline of 4.3%, amounting to $6,717 million in 2019 compared to $7,015 million in 2018.
Stay tuned for more news right after this commercial break. Welcome back after the break. First Capital Holdings stresses that with the rise in borrowing pressure, it expects a gradual increase in pressure on bond yields throughout 2020, excluding the fourth quarter where debt maturities are onto the lower side. Launching the Investment Strategy 2020 in Colombo recently, First Capital noted that its outlooks for this year is neutral.
Our overall outlook is neutral. However, it's slightly better if you look at 2 years ago, in the January 2018 situation. So, considering from that stage to now, yes, things have slightly improved, but overall outlook still remains neutral. On the foreign debt component is pretty high this year. So, we have a large amount of foreign debt to be paid, mainly with the sovereign bond coming in the third quarter. And then the rupee debt component that we have to pay is slightly lower. However, remember that we had a lot of tax cuts over the last couple of months, and then with that, First Capital Research is expecting that the budget deficit will be in the range of 7%. So with that, we will have a higher borrowing requirement in terms of rupees. So there will be higher borrowing pressure for the government. Then also we are expecting consumer demand to accelerate, which in turn will increase the amount of imports that we have. So with that, the trade deficit is likely to widen, and we are likely to have pressure, especially in the second half of the year, in terms of interest rates and also exchange rate.
One of the leading stockbrokers in the country, JB Securities, says that country's vehicle registrations picked up in January this year in comparison to last December in most categories.
Total car registrations recorded 2,536 units in January, up from 2,057 units in December 2019, but down from 3,147 units 12 months ago. The reports show that new car registrations recorded 349 units in January, up from 244 units in December, but down from 429 units 12 months ago. SUV registrations recorded 787 units in January, which is a 21% up from 650 units recorded the previous month and 735 units 12 months ago. Small crossovers accounted for 727 units. Toyota was the segment leader with a 45.4% share, followed by Honda with a 16% share. Van registrations recorded 911 units in January, significantly up from 619 units the previous month and 12 months ago. Suzuki was the segment leader with a 51.6% share, followed by Nissan with 17.9%. The motorcycle category recorded 8,206 units in January, 30% higher than 6,375 units recorded the previous month, but down from 9,824 units recorded 12 months ago. Bajaj is the category leader with a 36.8% share, followed by Yamaha with a 30.3% share.
Theme Resorts and Spas reaches another milestone in Ayurveda and hospitality industry, opening its latest Ayurveda and yoga retreat middle of a beautiful organic garden and paddy fields at Sigiriya recently. The management of this Theme Resorts and Spas says that main attraction of their latest innovation is preparing and serving all meals for their guests after consulting with an in-house Ayurvedic physician who prescribes the meals in accordance with the predominant and secondary dosha conditions of one's body. The newest Ayurveda and yoga retreat, Ayurveda Sigiriya, inaugurated by the Duchess of Rutland, Emma Manners, the Duchess, who was on an Ayurvedic wellness tour in the country, was the first guest at Ayurveda Sigiriya to experience the miracles of Sri Lankan Ayurveda Panchakarma, Buddhist meditation and yoga. Following the successful journey of Ayurveda Veligama, the second addition to the Ayurveda series by Theme Resorts and Spas Group, Ayurveda Sigiriya, is introduced as a well worth investment of time, research and innovation that redefines Ayurveda tourism of Sri Lanka. Picturesquely perched in the midst of captivating countryside scenery, Ayurveda Sigiriya is located in the heart of the cultural triangle, about 170 kilometers away from the capital city of Sri Lanka. In designing Ayurveda Sigiriya, Theme Resorts and Spas has opted for earth bag construction, which are capable of meeting the structural needs with the lower energy and material consumption. The retreat is purely built with reused polypropylene bags filled with moist subsoil that contains enough clay to become cohesive when tamped, and eco bricks stacked to create structure. These reused polypropylene bags are then torn out and carefully disposed before the walls are covered with clay and then burned to secure and strengthen the structure. Other than that, Ayurveda also offers a range of treatments to their guests after one-on-one consultation with the in-house Ayurvedic physician who determines the predominant and secondary forms of energy that constitutes in the body. The interior of the accommodation, comprising of 10 rooms, reflects the traditional Sri Lankan nonchalant village dwelling, providing a comfortable living space for the guests experiencing the healing of their body and mind. Each room is built camouflaged in nature, facing the direction of sunrise, adding some vibration to help one break away from the banalities of day-to-day life. The chairman and managing director of Connaissance de Ceylon and Theme Resorts and Spas, Chandra Wickramasinghe, exclusively speaking to the State of Business by Art Television, said that expecting everything from the government in any industry cannot be accepted, but branding the local tourism in Sri Lanka should be done by the respective governments as it earns a good income for the country.
We can't accept everything from the government sometimes. Government had facilitated us on certain ways. Sometimes they have given us land, sometimes they have given us special concessions with the banks. But one thing, but global tourism campaign, image branding has to be done by the government. So last 4.5 years, 5 years, it had not happened. So now I think government to take it very serious and do some important promotional work in the producing countries. Actually, we have done one Ayurveda hotel, pure vegetarian and Ayurveda hotel resort in Valigama. It was very successful and we have got very good clientele to that. So they are also looking forward to come out from the beach and to a center or cultural triangle where they can mix up with a lot of cultural activities with Ayurveda. So this is our aim and target is to get the people here to take a break out from their day-to-day life and get out of a little bit of stress, and that should be well-being, and do a little bit of vegetarian way of life, and also divinities, like it's like to do with mythology or Hinduism.
Stay tuned as we'll be back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. Tourism Development Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says that he will be submitting a cabinet paper soon with a plan to boost tourism in the country. Minister Ranatunga also added that the Higher Education Ministry and University Grants Commission will also join with him in this endeavour.
Tourism Development Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says that the ministry has sought the possibilities of establishing a single agency consolidating the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau and the Sri Lanka Convention Bureau, as well as the Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management. Minister Ranatunga said that the cabinet paper will be presented in the Cabinet of Ministers next week itself and the new agency will be named Sri Lanka Tourism. Minister added that with the necessary amendments to the Tourism Act, they hope the consolidated agency will be in a better position to provide an efficient service to all stakeholders of the industry. Minister Ranatunga pointed out that Tourism Act No. 38 of 2005 had divided the entire tourism sector into 4 main institutions, which include the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau, Sri Lanka Convention Bureau and Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management. The minister also added that the government was also focusing on transforming the Sri Lanka Institute of Tourism and Hotel Management into a degree awarding university. He further noted that the Higher Education Ministry and the University Grants Commission were presently conducting a feasibility study to identify whether it would be transformed into a university under the purview of the UGC or a locally or foreign affiliated university.
Japan inked 2 agreements to provide 30 million rupees for the project of constructing a causeway in Buttala in Monragala district and for the construction of a psychiatry unit at Divisional Hospital in Ila Valley in Trincomalee district.
The financial assistance for the 2 projects are funded by the Grant Assistance for Grassroots Human Security Projects. The grant contracts were signed by Japanese Ambassador Akira Sugiyama with President of Dimuthu Community Development, Venerable Nagolle Nandaratana Thero, and Senior Council Member of Sri Lanka College of Psychiatrists, Dr. Jayan Mendes. It is noted that residents of Buttala are severely inconvenienced since they currently have to cross a river approximately 3 to 5 kilometers in length by foot to access city in the vicinity. But with the construction of the causeway, it will provide 2,500 villagers a safe and easier access to main towns compared to the current situation. On the other hand, Senior Council Member of Sri Lanka College of Psychiatrists, Dr. Jayan Mendes, explained the benefits of the construction of a psychiatry unit at Divisional Hospital in Nilaveli in Trincomalee district.
In fact, there is no intermediate care model available in Trincomalee district, and we visited that hospital. They had only acute ward. Then the psychiatrist and the provincial director and the regional director, they have been trying to develop this intermediate care unit. Because of that, we thought that we need to look funding for that. I'm very happy that Japanese embassy accepted our project proposal.
And now a subject expert at First Capital Holdings will be joining us to bring you the usual analysis on the stock performances.
This week has been a rather short week with Friday being a holiday. We've seen that the market is having mixed reactions this week with Monday and Thursday the market being slightly negative, and we saw Tuesday and Wednesday the market being a bit positive. Turnover levels actually has been moderate around the 400 million to 500 million rupee mark. However, on Thursday we saw some large turnover levels with parcel trades in TJL and Commercial Bank. So mainly the transactions in TJL and Commercial Bank has been foreign selling, where we saw local buying on the 2 counters, which has boosted turnover levels on Thursday. If you take the throughout the week, we've seen net foreign outflow for the week, except on Tuesday where we saw marginal foreign inflow. With this situation, the year-to-date net foreign outflow has been somewhere in the range of 3.9 billion rupees. So in the upcoming week, we expect the market to be a bit positive, though we expected the last week also for the market to be on a positive trend. We didn't see much of results being released. So with that we saw a mixed reaction, but in the upcoming week it is the last week where company results can be released, and we feel that most of the company results is likely to be positive. With that taking the momentum into the market, we feel that market activity and investors are likely to be on a positive momentum, giving rise to positive outlook for the market. So overall, we feel that activity levels are also likely to improve in the overall market, giving it a positive sentiment.
And that's all news for today. Send us your comments, views and opinions via email address and hotline, and log into our Facebook page to get the newest updates. With that, we'll be signing out for today and see you on Monday with State of Business. Until then, take care. Good night.